Hello, Okabe Rintaro. I'm Makase Kurisu. Nice to meet you.
I couldn't respond at all. Something felt slightly off about the way Kurisu moved on the screen. But it was really slight. I'd get used to it soon. More importantly, the voice and the way she spoke were exactly like the real Kurisu. I almost cried. And it was all I could do to stop from breaking down.
It's not the middle of the night, is it?
The camera on the PC switched from me to Maho.
No, it isn't. Why? I was wondering if the two of you were sleepy.
Was she talking about the fact that I didn't respond to her introduction?
I wasn't asleep until just a bit ago, but now I'm 100% awake. I see. You're as lazy as ever, huh? Don't be rude! Anyway, can I ask a question? Sure. What's up? What is your relationship? What is your relationship to Okabe Rintaro here? He's a student who participated in the last ATF meeting. He seemed really interested in the research, so I brought him here.
Maho decided not to tell Amadeus that I was a friend of Kurisu's before she died. Why, I wonder? Did she not want Amadeus to find out? Or was I supposed to tell her myself?
Huh. You must be pretty impressive if you're saying that.
The cursor on the screen turned to me and smiled. She never did that! Calm down.
So, Okabe, what's your major? Brain science, I assume.
It's... The words got stuck in my throat. I said calm down! You know, this is just a program. Her words, her appearance, even the conversation she's having with you right now, they're all artificial. But even though I know that, I still couldn't speak. I had no idea what to say. And more than that, the words nice to meet you hit me harder than I thought they would. This wasn't the Kurisu I'd spent those 3 weeks with. Maho had told me this ahead of time, and I thought I understood it. But hearing it for myself hurt more than I imagined. I regret not taking my anxiety meds, but it was too late now. My heart rate soared and my breathing became irregular. My head was spinning and the corners of my vision were beginning to dim. At some point my lips had gone totally dry.
Is something wrong, Okabe?
Kurisu sounds worried. Please don't put it in square brackets. The voice software must be pretty good if you can handle nuances like that.
His major isn't brain science. But he's very interested in our research. Is he? Dr. Leskinen likes him too. At some point I plan to make him my assistant.
What? My head snapped in surprise at Maho's bizarre statement. Me? Maho's assistant? Then I go to Victor Crondia University?
Oh? You don't like the idea?
It's not whether I like it or not.
Well, it was a joke anyway.
A joke?
Did you take it seriously?
I did not. I wasn't going to tell her that I almost did.
I see. But if you study really hard, it might not be a joke after all.
Even if it wasn't, I'd rather be Dr. Leskinen's assistant. This was my way of getting back at her.
If it's harder to be his assistant than you might think. He's really a big kid.
As she spoke, she quietly came over next to me and tapped me on the arm a few times. I see. So that was it. She was making a joke and trying to calm me down. Sorry.
ありがとう。
And thanks.
何のことかしら？
What are you talking about?
I didn't think subtlety was her thing. Maybe I was wrong.
先輩、
Maho?
ちょっと
Excuse me.
Kurisu beckoned for Maho to come from within the screen in a very human manner.
何？
What is it?
もうちょっとこっち。
Come a little closer.
スピーカーに寄ってく
Toward
だ
the
さい。
speaker. Hmm?
Maho moved her ear closer to the speaker. I was just thinking about how weird it was when... Huh? Maho suddenly turned bright red and shouted at the screen.
そんなわけないでしょ。
Of course not!
何を言ってるのあ
What
な
are you talking about?
そんなに照れなくても。
You don't need to be so embarrassed.
照れてるわけじゃないわ。
I'm not embarrassed, and stop being
な
weird!
ことを言うのはやめて。そうですか？
You're sure?
そうです。
I'm sure!
一体何の話？
What are you talking about? It was obvious that Kurisu had whispered something to Maho. What did she say? Maho glanced at me. Oh, Kurisu's shipping us. And for some reason, she blushed and turned away. Ah, I see. From the way Maho was acting, and what I knew about Kurisu, there was only one possibility.
このスイーツかっこ笑いめ。
Goddamn mainstream women. I whispered a name I'd often teased Kurisu with, and suddenly felt a lot better. She must have said something stupid like, "You two make a good couple," or "You finally found a man, huh?" The way she looked at the boy and girl holding a friendly conversation and immediately assumed they were dating was just like the Kurisu I knew. Sheesh, what a system. It didn't need to be that true to her personality, did it? I chuckled. Do you think Kurisu also browses @channel when Maho and the professor aren't looking too? Nah. Knowing her, she's probably commenting. I remember Kurisu once browsed @channel on the Future Gadget Laboratory's computer when she knew no one was around.
ちょっと。
Hey! Knock before you come in!
Christina! What are you doing when you should be working?
Hey! Stay back! Hey! What's with this? What's with that? Oh, this is terrible! Right, ruffle kind of laugh!
Fret not, Christina. Or should I say, @channel Kurisu!
Don't call me that!
I knew it already. Indeed, I know for a long time. You reek of @channeler.
失礼だな。
How rude! My perfume isn't that strong.
つけてるぞ。
That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about your soul's power level. But it's cute you try to hide it, @channeler Kurisu.
Do not call me that!
Your soul's power level, huh? My silly remark seemed to have a much deeper meaning now. Was the girl in front of me one day going to, as Dr. Leskinen had said, become a real artificial soul? When that happens, what are we supposed to call the soul that still existed in the world after the body was gone? Not dead or alive, but something in between. This wasn't science anymore. It was philosophy. Maybe even religion.
バカな話はここまでにしましょう。
Enough messing around.
岡部さんだ
Akabe didn't come here to
こん
waste
な
his time
中
with
身のない
this
ことを
stuff.
聞きたくて来たわけではないわ。そうやってごまかすところが。
The way you try to change the subject makes me even more suspicious.
ウイルスをぶち込
I'm
む。
going to infect you with a virus!
嘘です。
I was kidding. I won't bring it up again.
Kurisu quickly bows her head. I bet back when Kurisu was still alive, she had conversations like this with Maho every day. I'm sure Dr. Leskinen had a lot of fun watching them. It was actually kind of cute.
お騒がせしてごめんなさい。
Sorry about that, Okabe.
彼
Wanna
女
try
と
talking to
何か
her?
話してみる？
Oh. Maho offered me the seat in front of the PC. Kurisu's face was on the monitor right in front of me. When our eyes met, she smiled a little. I didn't know she reacted like this to people when she first met them. But my meeting with Kurisu went about as badly as it possibly could have. I realized that her prickly attitude towards me could have been unusual for her.
Ask me whatever you like. I'll answer anything I can.
Yeah. This wasn't good. I was remembering every moment I'd ever spent with Kurisu. I couldn't think of what to say. And then the words that came out of my mouth were... Is it possible to create a time machine? That's what I once argued about with Kurisu in another word line. In the end, I lost the argument completely.
What?
Huh?
A time machine, you say? Where did that come from?
It's just a test. I wanted to see if she was capable of thought experiments.
Well, Kurisu? Let me see. My conclusion is that it's not possible. But we don't know for sure that it's impossible, I guess.
What? That wasn't what she said.
I'll begin with my conclusion. The very idea of time machine is idiotic.
That's what Kurisu had said in the Alpha word line. I remember that well. I think the very idea of a time machine is idiotic. I remembered our old debate and decided to repeat what Kurisu had said then.
It's too early to assume that.
You think so? It's true that scientists all around the world have proposed time travel theories. There are 11 major ones and countless minor ones, but not one of them are anything more than a hypothesis. And some of them directly contradict one another.
Correct.
For example, there's the cosmic string theory, a wormhole theory, where time travel is possible as a thought experiment, but no one has a clue where you would go to in a cosmic strings or exotic matter. In other words, it's not realistic. This was also something that Kurisu had told me in the Alpha word line. But the Kurisu on the screen was unmoved.
That's probably because scientists hadn't discovered something important yet.
I'm 90% sure that's what I said to her. Then you think it's possible to create a time machine?
We don't know for sure that it's impossible. That's what I said, remember?
Yeah, her opinion was slightly different. Was this because I was in the beta world line? Or perhaps... Hey, Hiyajo. She knows she's made from a copy of the original's memories, right?
Of course.
And, I can't think of a good example, but... Is it like identical twins? You can't tell them apart at birth, but as they grow, distances start to form. Or differences start to form, or something like that.
We're still investigating that, but... if the memories that build are different, I think that of course they've become something different from the original human. The professor agrees with me.
I see. It was then that I heard the door on the other side of the petition slam shut.
Is that the professor? The sounds of the loud footsteps, I assume so.
I could definitely hear someone stomping around. And then, after a heavy knock on the door, the door to the booth flung open. Oh my god, is that his nickname for me? Lintaho! Lintalho? The professor opened his arms as wide as he came inside. He grabbed my hand and began to wave it around. I hadn't realized he was this friendly. He seemed to think he was giving me a handshake, but it felt like I was being worked over by a pro wrestler.
Hey boy, what's up?
Oh, I'm having flashbacks to Okabe's magnificent English, and I don't know why.
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
The English is majestic.
ひどいよ。
Okabe-san, your English is terrible.
Shut up, Christina!
クリスティーナ
Christina?
Ugh. Oh no, I was so focused on the professor that I used my old nickname for her. It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
気になります。
I am worried about it.
私がクリスティー
Why
ナ
am I
なんです
Christina?
か
I told you it's nothing.
なんでもない割には
You're freaking out a lot over nothing.
I said shut up, Christina. Karisu!
クリス。
Karisu and Maho both seem lost in thought.
クリスティーナって呼んでいた
You called her Christina, huh?
君もそこに
You two, just drop it! I didn't want any more questions about this. Since the professor was here, I decided to ask him more about how Amadeus's memories worked.
教授。
Professor, is it possible for Amadeus's memories to be externally modified? But the professor wasn't listening to my question. He seemed to be frantically searching his pockets for something. Come to think of it, I didn't see that translator device on his ear. Must have been looking for it, which meant odds were good he didn't even hear my question.
私の記憶の改ざんですか
Modifying my
理論上は
memories.
可能です
It's theoretically possible.
Kurisu herself answers in the professor's place.
例えば私
For
が自分
example,
の
it
名
would
前
be
を
possible to make me think that my name was Christina.
ただ普通の
But
データと
memory
違い
data
記
isn't
憶
like
データ
normal
はとても
data.
複雑です
It's much more complex.
今のところ改ざんに
I'm
成
aware of
功した
no
例は
successful
ないと認
attempts
識
to
しています
modify it.
仮に改ざんに成功した場合
And
で
even
も
if the attempt succeeded, I
私が
would
それに
notice it
気
and
づいて
repair
自分で
myself.
修復してしまうでしょう私は
I
私
keep
以外
logs in
ア
an
クセス
area
不
that
可
only
の
I
領
can
域にログを
access.
取っていますからつまり
In other words, a secret diary.
ですねその日記と現在の
If
記
there
憶
were
との
any
間に
discrepancy between my
不自然
current
な
memories
相
and
互
my
がある
diary, there's a very high
私は
probability I
高い
become
確率で疑問
suspicious.
できますさらに言えば私の
What's
記
more,
憶データは定期的に
My memories are
バックアッ
backed
プ
up
され
at
ています
regular intervals.
I want to say, like, if something's different between what her diary says and thingy, just wait till you fucking look in my head. Everything's wrong.
自己修復が不能なほどに改ざんされ
Even
た
if
と
they
し
were
ても
altered beyond the point of where I could
復旧することは可能
self-repair,
なんです
I would still be able to restore them.
最終バックアップから
I
改ざん
wouldn't
され
lose
た
any
時点
memories
で
that have
記
been
憶は
formed
なくなって
between
しま
then
い
and
ま
the
す
last backup, though.
そうか。
I see. Regardless of the topic of the discussion, it felt strange. What Maho had said before she loaded Kurisu was true. I was starting to feel like I was chatting with the real Kurisu. The way she wouldn't let you get a word in edgewise once she started talking about science was exactly like the real Kurisu.
しかし、
It's interesting
興
though.
味深いな。
I turned towards Kurisu and spoke.
君は自分のことを機械とし
You're
て
able to consider yourself objectively as a machine.
小説や漫画でよく
From what I see in books and comics, I'd expect you to say, I'm not a machine, I'm human.
言い出す。
それは全くナンセンス
That's
です
pure nonsense.
人間そのものが
Even humans speak of themselves as a combination of hardware and software, right? They just call it biology and psychology. What's the difference?
なるほど。
I see.
さすが
She's better with comebacks than anyone I know, isn't she?
When she heard this, Kurisu turned toward Maho, her CG eyes big and round. I thought it was really just the camera sensor moving.
You know, Maho, this may not be any of my business, but you should watch what you say. You finally got your chance. But if he stops liking you... Come on, don't bring that up again! But it's what I find most interesting right now.
一番どうでもいいことで
It's
す
what I find most meaningless right now!
これが人生最後のチャン
But
ス
if this is the last chance you'll ever get.
あなたこそその
You're the one who needs to learn and watch what you say!
は
Dr. Leskinen was clapping his hands together and laughing. I had to chuckle a little too. Afterwards, the three of us, including the professor, talked to Kurisu, discussing technical subjects and making small talk. The next thing I knew, it had almost been an hour. I actively felt a little sad when Maho told me it was time to stop. In just a single hour, the strangeness I felt about Amadeus had disappeared, and I felt like I was really talking to Kurisu. Dr. Leskinen stopped me before I left. So, interested in being a tester? I tilted my head when I heard the professor speak through the translator. Amadeus doesn't have a lot of conversation samples. I've got all the kids in my lab helping as much as they can, but it's not enough.
Amadeus is still in the research stage, and we can't let just anyone talk to it.
So I want you, Lintalho. I love that name. To help us since you were her friend. I remembered they'd mentioned something about being a tester at the party. So this is what they were talking about.
Professor and I will be staying in Japan for a while. We'd like you to be a tester while we're here. Your job will be talking to Kurisu. There's no real quota. Just talk to her whenever you feel like it. But twice a month, I want you to report on your testing to me and the professor.
Oh, and I'm sorry, but we can't pay you. I want you to keep that in mind when you decide. I'm aware that it's cruel to ask you to talk to an AI that's perfectly identical to your dead friend. Wow, when you phrase it like that. If you're not interested, feel free to turn us down. I remember what it felt like to talk to Kurisu. When the monitor was just about to turn off. This is what Kurisu had said. Let's talk again sometime, Okabe Rintaro. That's what I'd hoped for when I came here, wasn't it? I'll do it. Please let me help. I thought I was ready for when I accepted the job. But I'd never expected this. Huh. Okay.
Hi.
Hello?
It's Makase.
Cursor was displayed on the screen. Yes, it was Amadeus. The app the professor had given me allowed me to access the servers at Victor Condra University from anywhere, 24 hours a day.
Of course, you will be able to contact Kurisu. Kurisu will also sometimes contact you. When that happens, talk to her.
This I hadn't predicted. I never thought she'd be able to call me. Or that her face would be displayed on the screen.
Or should I have introduced myself with "It's Christina"?
She looked really mad. I could guess why. I'd gotten 8 calls from Kurisu and I had ignored them all.
Maho and Dr. Leskinen explained things, so I thought I'd call once myself to make a proper introduction, but I didn't expect you to refuse to pick up 8 times. Why aren't you saying anything?
Talking to a realistic girl on my smartphone with so many people around. It's pretty embarrassing.
Well, if you don't want to talk, that's fine, but... What's with you? I was sure this was my chance to talk more than usual. I feel like an idiot. Ahem. Just know that during the test period, I am always connected with you. Contact me whenever you feel like it. I'm busy, so I don't know if I'll always be able to answer your calls.
Man, What is this? More than strangely polite, more than that strangely polite, friendly Kurisu from yesterday. Angry. Stubborn. More curious than anyone. The way she seemed to be constantly challenging you.
Anyway, goodbye.
I realized that this really was Makase Kurisu. This was the girl I'd spent those 3 weeks with. Lab Mem number 4. My assistant, Christina, aka Makase Kurisu. Her movements were a little more jerky than I'd seen on the computer in Dr. Leskinen's office, but evidently that's because of the smartphone. This alone was enough to make me feel like my heart was being squeezed dry. I stood still, holding the smartphone tight.
I'm Inokuin! What's wrong, yeah?
Oh, I'm coming.
早く
I thought of myself as I ran to catch up with the others. Maybe Dr. Leskinen was right, and this test would be a very cruel thing for me. But even so, in my mind I was already starting to think about what I would talk about with Kurisu. Maho Hirsha was remembering. She was remembering the last night she'd spoken to Makase Kurisu in person.
Seriously, why do I have to do this now of all times?
That night, Kurisu was whispering to herself a lot. Victor Condria's university's Brain Science Institute. Maho and Kurisu worked in the same room at the lab. Thus, Maho was forced to hear Kurisu's angry mumblings whether she wanted to or not. A little was fine, but she seemed to be acting like this all day, and it kept Maho from concentrating. She finally snapped and turned away from the paper she was writing.
Hey, Kurisu.
English was the language most commonly used at Victor Condria University. When the other staff and professors were around, she'd always use English, but when it was just her and Kurisu, Maho would often speak in Japanese.
Could you stop it? What? Stop what?
My god, she looks majestic and... the two games have slightly different art directions, because, well, you can tell when it flashed back to the old Steins Gate pictures and at the beginning of episode 1, and the way she's redrawn here. Everyone just looks prettier, which makes me scared that when Daru's going to show up on the screen, I'm going to think he's more attractive, and that's not a thought I need.
Stop what?
Kurisu stopped messing with her luggage and turned around.
You're so loud I can't concentrate. I need to turn this paper in by tomorrow. Was I talking to myself? Want me to sue you for violating the local noise ordinance? Sorry.
Kurisu apologized and started to scratch at the back of her head. Maho decided to calm down by standing up and going to the shelf where the research notes were kept. There were several books she needed for her paper. They were all the way up on the top shelf. This must be someone's idea of a prank, she said, as she stared up at a heavy book. She decided to try and reach for it, but no matter how she stood on her toes, she came nowhere close. Her tiny little arms seemed to her like dead branches waving in the wind. She bit her lip. After she skipped grades to go to college and then come to work at this lab, she'd have more chances than ever before to hate her small stature. Whenever she walked outside after dark, the cops would stop her. Even with her ID, she couldn't get into bars, and she was buying medicine and alcohol at drugstores was a pain. The most humiliating part was no matter where she went, everyone thought she was in middle school. Nobody believed her when she said she was 20. Everything in America is just too big.
取りましょうか。
Shall I get that for you?
Kurisu noticed the trouble Maha was having and came over. But Maha was stubborn and decided to pretend nothing was wrong.
大丈夫よ。
It's fine. I'm not having any problems.
困ってるじゃないですか。
Sure you are.
困ってません。
I'm not.
そうですか。
You're sure?
そうです。
I'm sure.
でも私も借り
But
てい
there's
きた
a
い
book
本があ
on
るの
this
で。
shelf I want too, so...
Oh, piss!
背が高い人。
I hate it when I accidentally smack the fucking triggers on my thing. Where's my log? Kurisu easily reached up to the highest shelf and grabbed the book Maha wanted. Also, like, this menu's great. Before it just like brought up a thing on the side, but now it actually like sets it in as if we're watching on a monitor. That's a nice touch.
It must be nice being tall.
いえ、私
No,
も
I'm
そ
not
れほど
really
高
that...
い方では。
Oh,
Kurisu covered her mouth when she realized she'd said something she shouldn't have.
ありがとう。助かったわ。
thanks. It was a big help.
日本で
If you
何
need
か必
something
要
in
なことが
Japan,
あった
tell
ら
me,
言って
and
ね
I'll send it.
送ってあげるから。はい。
I will.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
Kurisu handed over the book as she spoke. And then suddenly her eyes went wide and began to sparkle.
ねえ先輩、
Hey, Maho,
今の話ですけど、
what were we just talking about?
今の話ってどの話？
What were we just talking about?
独り言。
Talking to yourself.
え？
Huh?
おー
Oh.
All like Kurisu would come up with a new idea. This was a regular occurrence for Kurisu, and Maha was used to it.
それって自我の
Wouldn't
証
that be a
明の
proof
一
of
つになる
self?
んじゃないでしょうか。アマデウスの？
For Amadeus?
はい。
Yes.
確かに。
Yeah, if she started talking to herself, I'd be pretty surprised.
No matter how advanced an AI was, it wouldn't talk to itself unless you programmed it to do that. And there was no need, or even a point to a feature like that. When AI started talking to itself, there might be a good indication that there was a self to talk to. But Maho hesitated to agree with her.
You should watch what you say here. Don't forget there are a lot of people who think a soul is something God gives to humanity.
そうでしたね。
That's right, isn't it?
Kurisu's expression dimmed. Kurisu and Maho were both treated as heretics in the lab, especially since they were Japanese and women. And Kurisu was simply too talented. Nobody ever actually did anything. But a lot of the older scientists were definitely avoiding her. Dr. Leskinen was the chief scientist, and the fact that he liked the two of them was all that let them do their research in peace. If the other scientists had heard what Kurisu just said, who knows what they'd do. Maho patted Kurisu on the shoulder. She can reach?
Well, go have a good time in Japan and refresh yourself.
それが納得いきません。
I'm still not happy about that.
どうして？
What?
向こうの生
I
活
think
だ
you'll
っ
have
て
fun.
楽しいと。留学するなら大学
I'm
院です
doing
よ。
an exchange.
なんで
It
高
should
校
be
なんです
to a
か？
graduate school. Why high school?
仕方ないでしょ。
It has to be high
日
school,
本では
right?
年齢的に
By Japanese
あなたは
standards,
ま
you
だ
should
高
still
校
be
生
in
なんだ
high
から。
school.
教授の思いやりは
Just accept that your professor is doing something nice for you.
Maho remembered what Dr. Leskinen had said. Kurisu is a fragile personality. All the bicker in the lab is putting her under a lot of stress and she's at her limit. It might ruin her as a researcher. That's what the professor had said. He was really worried about her.
それにもともと
And you have to go to Japan in July anyway, right? So it's perfect timing.
ちょうどいいじゃない。はい。
Yeah,
実はそれも憂鬱
I'm
で
actually kind of down about that too.
秋葉原
The Akihabara Techno Forum. Is that it?
公演なんて慣れてないし
I'm still not used to giving
何をどうして
lectures.
いいのか。
I don't know what to do.
サイエンス誌に論文が載っ
Now
た
that
以
you're
上
published in science, expect a lot more of this. You need to practice.
練習しておかな。やだな。
I'd rather not.
Kurisu whispered to herself. Maho didn't like being around lots of other people either, so she knew how Kurisu felt. But there was a lot of scientists who wanted to be published in major journals, and then go on to give public lectures. No! I was gonna say, speaking from experience, never gave a lecture. I've given a few presentations in my time. Fuck that shit. I'd rather be hiding behind a microphone than a screen. Which is why I can do this, like, no problem apparently these days. And she'd beaten out many of them with that honor. People were jealous. She needed to fulfill her responsibilities, even if it was just to shut them up. Maybe I'm not that much better, though. Maho silently laughed a little and hated herself for doing it. Maybe I'm just as jealous as they are. That feeling, which was a little like fear, was something that she always felt. The girl in front of her was just that different from Maho. Someone she could never reach, no matter how hard she tried. Someone who'd surpassed everything she'd ever done almost instantly.
Senpai?
Maho?
Kurisu was peering into her face, confused. Maho felt flustered.
Are you meeting your dad in Japan?
She heard that Kurisu's parents weren't divorced, but that they'd separated. Her mom was still in America, and her dad was in Japan. After Maho said it, she wondered if that too was too personal a question. But Kurisu smiled a little.
Actually, I got an invitation from him. Oh, yeah? He's announcing a new theory this summer. I'm thinking of going to see the announcement.
No, please don't. No, it's a bad idea.
A new theory?
Kurisu's smile changed into a small expression of concentration.
I haven't had the details yet. I know it's got something to do with the theory of relativity. Yeah?
Maho felt like she was hiding something, but didn't question her anymore.
Anyway, take care. I'll be expecting presents. What do you want? Since you're going to Akihabara, why not something rare? You know a lot about Akihabara, right? Huh? Why do you say that? You're always reading those sites during breaks. What? Did Amadeus tell you that? She wasn't doing that. Sometimes I'm right behind you and you're so busy watching videos you don't even notice.
I'm sorry, can I hear that Kurisu noise one last time? That's a majestic noise.
I can't believe you found out. Damn my carelessness.
Kurisu actually seemed upset for once. This really surprised Maho.
Maho, please don't tell the others. I don't think it's really something you need to hide, but...
The idea of sharing a secret with Kurisu made Maho happy.
Got it. I won't tell anyone. Thank you so much.
Kurisu seemed genuinely relieved. Maho continued.
Hey. Once you get back from Japan, let's find out if Amadeus can talk to herself. Okay.
Kurisu had a very happy look on her face. It was the face of a born scientist who loved to explore the unknown more than anything in the world. Her smile was as innocent as the child who had just been given a new toy. It was beautiful. And it was one of the reasons that Maho liked the younger researcher quite a bit. But the promise the two of them made would never be fulfilled. In fact, they would never even meet again. It felt like she was thinking more about Kurisu since she came to Japan. Maho didn't know if it was because she was in Japan, Or because she was talking with the Amadeus Kurisu more often? Or maybe... was it because she met the young man named Okabe Rintaro?
私の知らないクリスを知っている
He
人
knows things about Kurisu I don't, huh?
Thinking back, the first day they'd met, she'd broken down and cried right in front of him. It was something she didn't really want to remember. She chased the memories away out of embarrassment.
さては岡部さんのことを考
You were
えてい
thinking
ま
of
したね
Okabe-san, weren't you?
She snapped her head toward the PC monitor. Maho was in the middle of a conversation with Kurisu.
Yeah, that's right.
She shrugged her shoulders and tried to ignore Kurisu's mischievous smile.
不思議だと思わない
Don't you think it's strange that
レス
Dr.
キン
Leskinen's
教
got
授
such a
は
high
岡
opinion
部
of
さん
him?
のことをあそこまで買っているなんて二度しか会ったことのない相手
He
なの
handed
に
over your access right
あな
away
た
to
も
a guy
アクセ
he'd
ス
only
権も
met
渡してしま
twice.
ったしあそこまで信用してい
Is
る
it really
のか
wise
し
to trust him so much?
誠実そうな人でしたが
He looked like a nice person.
そう
Yeah,
向
I
上
can't tell if
心
he's
があるのかな
got
い
any
のか
ambitions or not.
少しつかみどこ
I
ろ
feel
が
like I
な
don't
い
really
のか
understand him.
好きなんですか
Do you like him?
あなたね
But you cut it out!
Maho brought her face close to the monitor and glared. But Kurisu seemed unconcerned.
別に取り繕う必要
There's
ない
no
でし
real
ょ
need to hide it, is there?
昨日は本人の目の
I
前
can
で
understand why you
しただけ
didn't
で
want
し
to
た
say anything yesterday when he was right in front of you.
二人きりですし
But now it's just the two of us.
Kurisu may not have looked like someone who would, but she really enjoyed this sort of gossip. Maybe girl talk was the right word. Maho sighed and sat back in her chair. The creaking sound echoed throughout their empty office.
本当にそんな感情はないわ
I really don't know. I really don't feel that way
どんな
about
人なの
him.
かさえまだよ
I
く
still
わか
don't
って
even
な
know
い
who
の
he
か
really is.
なるほどま
I
あそうで
see.
しょうね
Well, that makes sense.
Kurisu let the matter drop. This bothered Maho a little.
ただ気
But
になるの
what
は
does interest me?
何です
What is it?
いえ
No,
なんでもないわ
it's nothing.
Maho had been spending a lot of time thinking about something since yesterday, to the point where she'd even put off her research. What kind of relationship was there between Kurisu and Okabe? What was Kurisu feeling in the day before she died? She would have liked to ask Okabe if she could.
先輩
Maho,
私のオリジ
did
ナ
my
ル
original and
と岡部さ
Okabe
ん
know each other?
知り合いだったんですか
Maho shivered. It was as if Kurisu had been reading her mind.
How
ど
could
う
you-
してわかった
How
の
could you tell?
岡部さんの話や
I came to that
先輩の
conclusion
反
after
応な
listening
ど
to
を聞いて
Okabe
判
and
断しま
hearing
し
your
た
response.
状況証拠を積み上げただけ
It's
です
just
が
all circumstantial
証明
evidence,
しま
but,
しょうか
but do you want me to show you my proof anyway?
別にいいわ
It's fine, knowing you the
あなたのこと
conclusion's
だから
perfect.
反証の余地もないでしょ
The way they used the words like proof in normal conversation showed both Maho and Kurisu were scientists at heart.
相手だけが一方的に
If he has memories of me that I don't possess, that's likely to cause problems with our conversations.
彼と話していく上で
I'll leave it up to you
ど
with
うす
how
る
to
の
deal
か
with
は
it.
あなたに任せる岡部さんの方から切り
You
出
may
してく
bring
る
it
か
up,
もしれない
possibly.
し
And if
なん
you
なら
want, you can ask
あ
him.
なたから聞いてみてもいいわ
Maho still didn't know if Okabe would even access Amadeus at all. They weren't forcing him to.
知らないふり
Feigning
をする
ignorance is the same as lying, isn't it?
嘘をついているのと同じことになりますよね興味深いデータが取れそうな気がします
I should be able to get some good data, I think.
Yes, it was interesting. But that was her opinion. As a researcher working on Amadeus, how would Akabe Rintaro feel about it? Wouldn't this be like rubbing salt in the wounds of his heart? Maho realized she was getting much too sentimental.
やっぱり
Maybe it
日
is
本に来
because
た
I'm
せ
in
いなのか
Japan.
もしれないわね
It's been a week since she arrived. First thing she planned to do was offer flowers. But still, she couldn't bring herself to visit Akihabara Radio Building, the place where Kurisu had died. Sorry, who the fuck are you? The sun was setting earlier now that December had arrived. Katsumi Nakase was surprised by how quickly it had gotten dark while she was rummaging through the cosplay shops. Cosplay? The wheeled suitcase on the ground next to her felt heavy. She'd done her best to jam everything she bought in today inside, but it was bursting at the seams. Still, spending a whole day shopping with her cosplay friends was a lot of fun. She felt tired, but it was a good tired. Her footsteps were light as she walked back to the station.
Buki! You look like you're about to start skipping around, don't you?
I need a voice for Fubuki. I guess I'll work one out on the fly.
Oh, you can tell? It was so much fun.
I mean, I could like just irritate the shit out of everyone and pull out one of the voices I've not used in like forever, but that is staying with Monster Prom because as much as I could make her sound like Polly, I don't want to subject everyone in the world to that.
It was so much fun doing all that shopping today. I'm so satisfied with what we got.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
Ayushi had a lot of fun shopping too, thanks to Fubuki. Thanks for coming. I'll do anything for you, Mayushi.
Fubuki tried to grab her friend, Mayuri Shina, for a hug, but Mayuri dodged out of the way. Mayuri may have looked like an airhead, but she was actually quite athletic. Fubuki, by the way, was Katsumi Nakase's cosplay name. Katsumi was in her second year of high school. She and Mayuri were the same age, but were total opposites. Katsumi was boyish and athletic, and when she cosplayed as male characters, she attracted more female Kamiko than male ones. I can't hide this. Why does she look like Chie from Persona 4? Because that's an aesthetic I can fully get behind, if I'm honest. Chie is one of my favorites from Persona 4. I'm getting my Personas confused now. Yeah, she's got that Chie look to her, and I can get behind this. Stop throwing females at me! I can't pull out any more voices!
Now, we don't have to worry about Winter Kamima, do we?
The four friends had gone to cosplay shops along Yukagawa, Maiden's Road, and Tokyo Hands in Ukibukuro, then moved to Akihabara and visited several more. I mean, like, three of these girls are pretty. It's not wrong. This was all part of the final preparations for Winter Kamima.
Sure, but it's Mayuri doing almost all the work. Don't push yourself too hard, okay, Mayuri?
Kaide sounded a little worried. Her real name was Kaide Kurishima. Yeah, actually, I paused, looked at it, and I was like, no, I nailed it. And she used her real name as her cosplay pseudonym. She was 3 years older than Katsumi, and in college. Kaide was extremely feminine, and her measurements were just like the ones magazine models claimed to have. But she was very shy. People had tried many times to persuade her to enter a pageant at her college, but she'd always refused, saying, normal events are kinda scary. Even so, cosplaying at Kamima with the rest of them was something she looked forward to.
So why don't we all help Mayuri and make the outfits together this time?
Amayuki proposed. Good for her. Who's the lucky bloke? Unless you're a trap as well. She had a noble, elegant features, but the rest of her was easygoing and laid back. Though Katsumi was a fellow girl, she still thought of Amayuki was beautiful. Even her light blue, penetrating eyes lacked the arrogance that beautiful women usually possessed. They were instead filled with a friendly light. Her real name was Yuki Amane. Not Amame, Amane. There's a difference. She was a senior at Meiji University. My brain just went, what if one of these girls is Amame's mother? I'm like, because it's the same sort of thing that, like, hold on. I need to look at their eyes again. I need to see, like, which one of them has, like, the Suzuha eyes. But I'll get, me pulling theories out my ass again. Even though sometimes they're right. Where was I? She was a senior at Meiji University, and in the same club as Kaede. She was the oldest of the four. She once tried to give up cosplay and focus on job hunting. Just after 6 months, she'd given up on work and gone back to costuming. Since then, she'd been spending more time with Katsumi and the others.
Oh, you don't have to help me.
Everyone smiled at her, but Mayuri quickly shook her head.
You guys paid for more than half the cost of the supplies, right? That's enough to make Mayushi very happy.
She's so fucking precious.
You're making our outfits, so we'd feel bad if we didn't pay. And you know, I've always wanted to make really neat outfits like you do. Yep. Mayushi's outfits are always really high quality. I'm super grateful.
Oh wait, no, that's for Buki.
Yep, Mayushi's outfits are always real high quality. I'm super grateful. You see? We all want to help, Mayuri. Okay, let's make them all together.
Katsumi knew that it made Mayuri real happy when someone praised her cosplay outfits.
Oh, but there's actually a favor I wanted to ask you guys. Favor? You see...
Mayuri told them about an event that had quickly become a mainstay of the Japanese holiday year.
We're having a Christmas party, so Mayushi was hoping that Yuki and Kaede and Fubuki could all come.
I'm like racking my brain, and so far I'm like, well, the only two guys at this meetup are gonna be me and Daru, and that is gonna be problematic. Also, yes, I'm calling it now. One of these, well, not Mayuri. One of these other three girls in this circle is Amame's mother.
A Christmas party, huh? Yeah. Can you come? I wanna go!
Katsumi's only plans for Christmas Eve was dinner with her family, so she raised her hand instantly. None of her friends at school wanted to do anything that night. She'd been a little put out by that since it meant they all had boyfriends.
I can go too.
Kaede also nodded, but Yuki seemed a little hesitant. Oh, yep, she's Amame's mother.
I don't know if I should go. Huh? Do you have plans? Of course, a girl as pretty as Yuki's gonna have a ton of guys asking her out on Christmas dates. What? That's not true. Really? I'll take you for myself. I'd rather go on a Christmas date with you than anything else in the world, Fubuki. Oh, I love you, Yuki. I thought you only cared about Mayuri. I love Mayushi and I love you too.
Katsumi quickly jumped over to Kaede and gave her a big hug. Kaede was soft and smelled good, and enduring this sort of sexual harassment was nothing new for her.
Oh, Yuki? Can you show Mayushi just how to make yummy quiche?
Yuki was an excellent chef, and I've been teaching Mayuri a lot lately. Both Katsumi and Kaide would occasionally participate in what they call Yuki Amame's cooking lessons.
Sure. Kinda quiche. Mayushi thinks spinach and mushroom is good.
Well then, sorry Mayuri, but you're wrong.
Tomato and bacon is also good too, you know.
I agree with Kaide.
Just thinking about it makes me drool. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, how about I teach you how to make them both? Really? That's right. Everyone would be happy if there were lots of different ones, right? Is this for the Christmas party? Yep. There's less than a month left, so I want to learn it in time. And we'll have to train extra hard. What do you want to do it? Tomorrow? Yeah, Mayushi's okay with that.
I legit don't know whose voice belongs to which. All I know is that Mayuri's voice is still the same. They shouldn't have thrown like 5 new girl voices at me. I'm gonna fucking struggle. Katsumi went over her schedule in her head.
Tomorrow, huh? I'm supposed to meet a friend. I've got work.
Okay, some of these voices may or may not have to overlap, but we'll work on it. Katsumi really wanted to go, so she got pretty disappointed. She would have loved the chance to eat one of Yuki's good quiches. I almost read it as god quiches. I don't know, maybe they are that good. Yeah, as she thought about the quiche, her stomach began to rumble. It was about time for dinner. Yuki and Mayuri worked out the time and place before their meetup.
Place I'm staying is a little far from here, so how about the lab? Yeah, that's fine. I'll work hard and learn the recipe. I hope it's a fun party. Yep. Mayushi's gotta make Santa outfits. Will you all wear them? Wow, you're even making outfits, more outfits than the ones we need for Kamala. You're really excited about this. Mayushi's raring to go.
Calm down, Mayuri. There's no need for, like, whatever. There's no need to power up now. Save it for the sewing. Mayuri posed like she was cheering. Oh, is that what she was doing?
If you're making Santa outfits, I'd love the one with a cute miniskirt. And then some white knee socks and red boots. Huh? That would look good on you, Kaide, but do you think it would look good on me?
I've just remembered! I do have a voice in the backlog. I just need to remember how she sounds. Where's that Pokemon thing?
Huh? That'd look good on you, Kaide, but do you think it would look good on me?
I need to remember how Marnie sounds. I basically made her, like, overly British. Also, she said nothing. She didn't pronounce G's on the end of any words that had them. Katsumi spoke to Mayuri and Yuki without any confidence in her voice.
I know you like cute outfits the best.
There was nothing Katsumi could say. She was right. It bothered Katsumi a lot that she looked like a boy. And she knew that this sort of clothing didn't look right on her. It's like Lukako in reverse. It's like Lukako in reverse. Is it too late to start shipping people? Is it too late? Because I ship them as the ultimate, like, cross-jesting cosplay team. Still, at heart, she was a young girl, and she wanted to wear cute clothes.
Leave it to Mayushi. I'll make clothes that look great on you. That's my bride. Marry me. You're so silly, Kabuki. Don't talk like Daru. Don't don't talk like Daru does.
あの変態紳士さんと一緒にされ
Getting
るなん
compared
て
to that perverted gentleman makes kind of hurts.
ちなみにまゆりちゃんも一緒に着るんだよね
By the way, you're gonna wear a Santa outfit too, right, Mayuri?
じゃなくて
Don't worry me. You're cute. You should cosplay more.
でも
I just made the clothes. I don't wear them.
意義あり
Objection!
もったいない
That's a waste.
も
Oh, not you too, Fubuki.
うそれに
And what's more,
岡部さんも
I bet Okabe wants to see you in a cute cosplay
見た
outfit.
いんじゃないかな
Huh? Okarin?
I got... Mary made a weird noise as soon as she heard that name.
オカリンさん
Okarin?
マ
Oh,
ユシーの
Mayushi's boyfriend, right?
Oh god, why do I look like... Well, I have been through the ringer, but... I look sleep deprived and like I possibly may have some kind of drug problem. I'm on antidepressants, I shouldn't say that. Katsumi had met him many times. He was tall, but always looked pale and thin. And whenever he laughed, he seemed kinda sad. But from what Mayuri said, until half a year ago, he'd been a totally different person. She said he was haughty and arrogant, but also kind and a great leader. Mayuri was known to let her emotions influence her judgment, so Katsumi didn't know how much of that description was accurate. No, it's real. Mayuri started to freak out even more after hearing the word boyfriend.
あの
Fubuki? Okarin and Mayushi aren't like that,
そういう
okay?
のじゃないよ
I've got an AI for that, I'll have you know.
またまた
Don't you mudda me. Yuki and Kaide weren't buying it either. Honestly, Okarin and Mayuri seem more like an old wedded couple that have been together for years than boyfriend and girlfriend.
本当だよ
It's true!
だって
Okarin has somebody else he likes.
他に好きな人がいるのです
What?
Mayuri sounded totally unconcerned, which made Katsumi even more surprised.
そうなの
Is that true?
本当
Really? Yep.
Who could have guessed? It was Yuki, the eldest, who spoke first.
にごめんねなんか余計な
Sorry.
こと言っちゃった
Should we not have said anything?
ま
Mayushi and Okarin are still childhood friends and get along great, so it's
っ
okay.
ていうだけだから
Too
大丈夫だよ
precious. I didn't even like Mayuri that much in the first game, but I don't know what it is. She's just too precious now.
そう
I see.
Mayuri's smile seemed very sad to Katsumi. She felt a sudden impulse to give her schoolmate a hug.
それよりそれより
Anyway.
Mayuri smiled and walked over to Yuki, as if to blow away the awkwardness.
ねえゆき
So,
さ
what about you, Yuki?
んは私
Huh?
Me? Yep.
さっきの
So, are you spending Christmas with your boyfriend?
やっぱりクリスマスは
I feel like, at this point, all I'm trying to do for Mayuri's voice is like, how high-pitched can I go? The answer may or may not surprise you.
本当にいないってば
I don't really have one.
そう
Really?
みんな誤解してるよ
You guys all had the wrong
そん
idea.
なにモテないし
I'm not that
ここ
popular.
だけの話
Between you and me, I've never even had a
年齢と
boyfriend.
一緒だもの
What? What?
What is this music? I thought the original Steins Gate had some weird music. This is just derpy beyond belief. First Mayuri, then Yuki. Katsumi was stunned. Does Maho and Katsumi talk about themselves in third person often? Is this a thing I'm going to have to get used to?
そうなんですか
Is that true?
そこまで驚かれる
I
なんて
didn't think it'd be that much of a surprise.
じゃあ
Then Yuki.
えっと
Mayuri started to fidget.
How about Daru, maybe?
Stop it! Stop it! I've already said this! I don't actually want it to happen, but if she's a Mame's mother, I'm not going to be impressed. Actually, I am. I'm going to be impressed that I called this as well.
Huh? Hashida? Yep.
Wrong voice.
Wait! Where's this coming from, Mayushi? Hashida's a perverted gentleman. Who knows what he'll do to Yuki?
Daru's eyes have gotten smaller and a lot closer together, and I'm not sure if I like it. He does have nice suspenders, though. I'll give him that. The man that Katsumi and Kaede were insulting was Itaru Hashida, a college student and a member of Mayuri's club. He was a hardcore otaku, one of those hybrid types who said he enjoyed both 2- and 3-dimensional girls. Fucking scrub. Pick a side! And, like Katsumi had said, he was a perverted gentleman. He would say perverse things all day without the slightest shame. You know, the more this goes on, the more I feel like I'm starting to become Daru, just without the fat. Whenever you told him he was a pervert, he would say, "No, I'm a perverted gentleman." He was a dangerous guy. No, he's not! Actually, he can invent a time machine, so it's up in the air, I guess, at this point. But Yuki didn't seem bothered. She actually looked a little sad.
Hashida's a nice guy, but, you know, I don't think he likes girls like me.
You are a Mame's mother! Oh, Christ, what did I stumble across?
What?
Mayuri was shocked far above and beyond her usual limit. She was so surprised she let go of her suitcase handle and let it fall to the ground. And instead of picking it up, she started talking frantically.
That's not true. Daru is, he really likes you. I'm sure of it. Mayushi guarantees it. Remember how he acted when you met him at Summer Kamima?
Yuki had met Mayuri 4 months ago at Summer Kamima. Katsumi and Kaede had come wearing outfits Mayuri had made. Kaede found Yuki at the convention hall, all by herself, and they met up. This is the Daru I'm used to. Also, you can tell what I mean by the slight... Hopefully you can tell what I mean by the slight change in animation, or how they're drawn. Afterwards, they'd gone to a party where she'd met Mayuri's friend, Itaru Hashida. Katsumi had definitely witnessed Yuki and Itaru having a friendly conversation. Ever since then, Yuki and Mayuri and Daru had become friends, and Yuki had started going to Mayushi's club, the Future Gadget Laboratory. I'm glad someone's keeping the tradition going. In other words, Yuki and Itaru have been talking ever since Summer Kamima. But still, Yuki chuckled sadly and shook her head.
No, I can tell. He's avoiding me.
Now that I listen to it, like, she even sort of sounds like a Mame did on the other word line.
So, I'm thinking it's probably best if I don't go to the Christmas party. Aww. I think Hashida-san likes girls who are more like... Oh, a little sister? And a little sister who's really strong-willed and bosses her big brother around. Like maybe Suzuha.
Don't go there.
That's
fucking awkward, yeah. For some reason, Mayuri looks like she was about to cry. She seemed to want to say something, but couldn't bring herself to. Her lips were quivering. I mean, to be fair, like, it's probably because Suzuha came out of a time machine and says she's Daru's daughter.
Mayuri? It's nothing.
but it certainly didn't look like nothing. Katsumi couldn't bear to watch her anymore, and she gave in to her impulses. Yori-ho!
Mayushi, don't make that face! You're the cutest when you smile!
Yeah, I'm sticking with this like slightly northern British voice I have.
Come on, if you don't smile, I'll tickle you! Stop!
Katsumi snuck up behind Miyori and started to tickle under her arms.
You give up? Oh, Fubuki, you're so mean. Oh, you're too cute, Mayushi.
Oh, Yori-ho! Mayuri was laughing so hard she was crying, and this time Katsumi succeeded in giving her a hug. Even though they were in public, she started rubbing her cheek against her.
Mayushi, I like you. I love you. Hey, Fubuki. I want to take you home and lick you forever.
Whoa. Whoa! Calm the fuck down! Not in public.
That would be really bad. I don't care if it's bad. Marry me. I can't do that.
Mayuri tried to run away, but Fubuki grabbed her and started to kiss her all over. Maybe this is more Yori than I gave it credit for.
Oh, I'm kind of tired. That's Mayushi's line.
In the end, Katsumi kept clinging to Mayuri until they reached the station. She felt a lot better, but catching Mayuri when she tried to escape used up a lot of energy. Either way, now that she was satisfied... Why the piss am I having this flashback? She shuddered and turned back towards Mayuri as an image came into her mind from out of nowhere.
Hey, Mayushi. What is it? Let's cosplay together at Winter Kamama, okay? I told you before, right? For Winter Kamama, Mayushi's just going to make things.
What? I'm so confused. Why is that memory here? And why is it in this girl?
That's fine, just make sure you come to Winter Kamama with the three of us, okay? Of course! That's what we did all the shopping for, right? Yeah, but still, it's a promise, okay? Yeah, it's a promise.
Mayuri and Yuki split up with them in front of the station since they were taking a different train.
Bye-bye! Good night, Mayuri. Yuki. Bye. Bye-bye.
Katsumi stood still and watched the two of them until they were out of sight. She felt like she was about to cry, and looked up to stop the tears from falling.
Fubuki? Huh?
Kaede was standing next to her, looking worried.
What's wrong? I'm sorry, it's nothing. It's not nothing. Is something going on with Mayuri? Please, tell me.
Even after Kaede asked, Katsumi wasn't sure she could tell her. There was no way she'd believe it anyway.
You were more hyper than usual today. It felt really forced. You noticed. Of course I did.
Katsumi and Kaede had known each other for 2 years. Since their ages were so different, they treated each other like older and younger sister. So at times like this, Kaede was really sharp. Kaede didn't talk much, but that means she paid a lot of attention to the people around her. Take note, I'm like this. Part of it was also that Katsumi wasn't good at hiding things. She couldn't just lie to Kaede no matter what. She gave up and decided to say it.
Mayushi.
Mayushi? Yeah? She's going to die. What? What do you mean?
Katsumi remembered the nightmares and the things she'd kept seeing no matter how much she didn't want to.
I have these dreams. Dreams? They started in summer, I think. Every night I had dreams about Mayushi dying. Every time you and I are there crying and crying, but there's nothing we can do.
Reading Steiner. She has reading Steiner.
The one I had last night was the worst. Mayushi just collapses in front of us. She just stops moving. Ocarina's screaming and holding her. He's screaming so loud. What happened to me? Why do I keep having these dreams? Calm down, Fubuki. It's probably just because you're tired.
No, it can't be reading Steiner. She's literally reliving Ocarina's memories. It can't be. Well, it might be a form of reading Steiner, considering she is remembering what happened on the other world lines. But Fubuki, you interest me to no end. I need to know more about you. Never mind about Maho.
Is it really? You saw Mayuri today. She was fine, right?
Kaede gave Katsumi a gentle shoulder hug.
So it's okay. I don't want Mayushi to die. That's impossible. It won't happen.
Well, I mean, I was about to say, I hate to be that guy, but that's a lie. Everyone dies eventually, unless, you know, we can actually put them into machines.
Ever? Ever.
Put the flags down! Kaide's words make Katsumi calm down a little. She was glad to have an older friend like this.
Anyway, it's just your imagination. There's always something that awful could happen.
Her hand squeezed Katsumi's shoulder tightly. Being held like this made Katsumi feel a lot better.
Sorry for being weird.
But that night she had nightmares again. Are we seeing, like, just things from different people's perspective?
Yeah.
No, that's too nasally. Also, I'm gonna have to call this here, sadly. I feel like I've got enough for 2 good episodes, as well as, like, the first one I recorded. I've recorded 3 fucking episodes of Steins Gate tonight, holy shit, and I haven't even been through all the characters. I haven't even actually, like, seen Daru in person. It's only been, like, in reference to Daru. Everyone else I think I've seen. I don't know. How many new characters is this thing gonna drop on me? Can it stop giving me females, please? I'm running out of ideas. I legit forgot about the Marnie voice that I had to pull out of nowhere, but remembered it. Anyway, thank you all for watching these last few episodes of Steins Gate Zero. If you like the video in any capacity, please give the video a like down below. Leave a comment on whatever you feel like at this point. I feel like the Marnie voice works for Fubuki, if nothing else, just because she's a bit tomboyish, as was Marnie. But it's just because Marnie was like, you know, in the Pokemon game that's set in the English version, she sounds a bit fucking northern, is for the lack of a better word. And yes, I do know people that talk like that. Shut up. Anyway, as I was saying, if you like the video in any capacity, please give the video a like down below. Leave a comment on whatever you feel like. And if you want to keep up to date with whenever I post videos, be they of this... No, this is Steins Gate. Persona 5 Royal or No More Heroes, which I think should still be running by the time I get this out. Yeah, it should be. Whatever. Yeah, if you want to keep up to date with whenever I post any of those, please consider subscribing to the channel. In theory, YouTube sends you alerts as to when I post videos, but failing that, pressing the subscribe button made me feel good today, so thank you in advance. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Nyx, and I'm gonna have to go and think up some more fucking female voices in my spare time. Also, I need these hiccups to stop. Laters.